In 218 BC, Hannibal Barca led 50,000 troops and 37 war elephants from Spain, crossing the Ebro River, the Rhine, and the treacherous Alps into Italy. His audacious land invasion would shake the foundations of Rome and forever change the course of history. The roots of the Second Punic War lay in the deep-seated rivalry between Rome and Carthage that followed their first conflict. After Carthage's defeat, Rome took control of Sicily and imposed harsh indemnities, severely weakening Carthage. Despite this, Carthage aimed to restore its power, largely driven by the ambitions of the Barcid family. Hamilcar Barca, a brilliant Carthaginian general, set his sights on expanding Carthage's influence in Iberia, a land rich in silver and resources. By securing Iberia, Carthage hoped to rebuild its military strength. After Hamilcar's death, his son-in-law Hasdrubal took over, followed by Hamilcar's son, Hannibal, in 221 BC. Hannibal's hatred for Rome, instilled by his father, would define his command. In 219 BC, he attacked Saguntum, a Roman ally located south of the Ebro River. This violation of the Ebro Treaty ignited tensions and led Rome to declare war. With control over Iberia's vast resources, Hannibal prepared to take the fight to Rome itself, thus setting the stage for one of the most legendary military campaigns in history. Hannibal's decision to invade Italy by crossing the Alps was one of the boldest moves in military history. Rather than attack by sea, Hannibal aimed to surprise the Romans, forging alliances with northern Italian tribes. Starting from New Carthage, a key Carthaginian city on the Iberian Peninsula, Hannibal led 40,000 infantry, 12,000 cavalry, and 37 war elephants. After crossing the Ebro River and advancing through Gaul, his forces navigated the Rhone River before reaching the base of the Alps. In late autumn of 218 BC, likely in October or early November, Hannibal began his treacherous journey through the mountains, facing snow and freezing temperatures. Historians debate the exact route, but he likely used the Col de la Traversin or the Mont Genevois Pass. The harsh winter conditions and constant harassment by mountain tribes added to the perils, as narrow paths and avalanches took a heavy toll on his army and elephants. By the time Hannibal descended into the Po River Valley, his army was reduced to about 26,000 men, and many of his war elephants had perished. Despite these losses, the audacity of the Alpine crossing caught Rome off guard, setting the stage for one of the most legendary military campaigns in history. Upon entering Italy in late 218 BC, Hannibal achieved his first significant victory at the Battle of Ticinus. Here, his cavalry, including Numidian horsemen, outmaneuvered the Romans under Publius Cornelius Scipio, wounding Scipio and forcing the Romans to retreat across the Po River. Shortly after, in December 218 BC, Hannibal decisively defeated the Romans at the Battle of Trebia. Hannibal fielded approximately 40,000 troops, including 20,000 infantry and 10,000 cavalry, with support from 10,000 Numidian and other light infantry. The Roman forces, commanded by Consul Tiberius Sempronius Longus, had a larger force of around 42,000 troops, including 36,000 infantry and 6,000 cavalry. Hannibal used his cavalry to lure the Roman forces into a trap as they crossed the icy river. The Carthaginian forces ambushed and encircled the Romans, whose infantry, despite their numbers, suffered due to the effective Carthaginian tactics. The battle inflicted heavy losses on the Romans, with estimated casualties of around 26,000 Roman troops compared to 5,000 Carthaginian losses. This forced the Romans to withdraw, consolidating Hannibal's hold over northern Italy. The following year, Hannibal achieved another stunning victory at the Battle of Lake Trasimene in June 217 BC. Hannibal used the geography to his advantage by hiding his army in the hills surrounding the lake, where he ambushed the Roman forces under Gaius Flaminius. As the Romans marched along the lakeshore, Hannibal's troops attacked from the rear and the flanks, trapping the Roman army against the lake. The result was a devastating defeat for Rome, with nearly 25,000 Roman soldiers killed or captured. Hannibal's greatest victory came in 216 BC at the Battle of Cannae, facing a much larger Roman force, 86,000 Romans against 50,000 Carthaginians. Hannibal executed a brilliant double envelope strategy on the flat plains of Cannae. He allowed the Romans to advance into his center, then surrounded them with his cavalry and infantry. The Roman army was annihilated, with tens of thousands killed. Key Roman commanders, Lucius Aemilius Pallas and Gaius Terentius Varro, were left helpless in the face of Hannibal's tactical genius. After the catastrophic defeat of Cannae, where 50,000 to 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed or captured in a single day, Rome was in shock. Many of its allies began to waver, and the Republic seemed on the brink of collapse. In the aftermath, Quintus Fabius Maximus reemerged as a central figure, advocating a strategy of attrition and avoidance, known as the Fabian Strategy. Instead of risking further catastrophic defeats, Fabius adopted a slower, more deliberate approach. He used the rugged terrain of Apulia and Campania to his advantage, avoiding direct confrontations with Hannibal's army. Fabius harassed the Carthaginians' supply lines and burned crops, ensuring that Hannibal's army, already strained after years in Italy, struggled to feed itself. However, Hannibal found temporary refuge and support in the city of Capua, which defected to the Carthaginian side after Cannae. Hannibal's troops were stationed there for the winter in 215 BC, but the leisure and luxury of Capua began to weaken his soldiers' discipline and morale, diluting the sharpness of his once formidable army. While Fabius's strategy was unpopular with the Roman populace, who favored more aggressive tactics, it slowed Hannibal's progress. Ultimately, the Fabian strategy, combined with the loss of discipline among Hannibal's troops in Capua, bought Rome the time it needed to recover and eventually go on the offensive. As the war in Italy reached a stalemate, the focus shifted to Spain, where Hannibal's brother, Hasdrubal Barca, attempted to send reinforcements to support his brother. Rome, realizing the catastrophic importance of Spain to Carthage's war efforts, dispatched Scipio Africanus to cut off Carthaginian reinforcements and secure the region. In 209 BC, Scipio led a daring assault on New Carthage, a crucial Carthaginian stronghold on the Mediterranean coast. The city's location was vital, as it allowed Carthage to control Spain's rich resources and maintain sea routes to North Africa. Scipio, commanding a force of 25,000 troops, faced a well-fortified Carthaginian garrison. He capitalized on a vulnerable section of the city's defenses near the lagoon, launching a surprise amphibious assault that overwhelmed the defenders. The siege of New Carthage not only gave Rome control of the city, but also captured valuable resources and hostages, including important Carthaginian leaders. This victory significantly weakened Carthage's hold on Spain, cutting off a major source of troops and supplies for Hannibal. It also enhanced Scipio's reputation as a brilliant military commander. Scipio's success in Spain paved the way for the next phase of the war, the invasion of North Africa. By 204 BC, Scipio had forced Carthage into a defensive position on its home turf, leading to the decisive final confrontation at Zama, where Rome would finally bring Carthage to its knees. After years of campaigning in Italy, Hannibal was recalled to Carthage in 203 BC to defend the city against the advancing Roman forces led by Scipio Africanus. Hannibal returned with a reduced army, but still posed a formidable threat to Rome. The decisive battle at Zama took place in 202 BC on the open plains of Zama, located southwest of Carthage. The key commanders in this final confrontation were Scipio Africanus, who had honed his skills during campaigns in Spain and North Africa, and Hannibal, still regarded as one of history's greatest military tacticians. The battle saw 35,000 Roman troops face off against 40,000 Carthaginians, which included Hannibal's famous war elephants and his remaining cavalry. Scipio, having learned from earlier encounters with Hannibal's forces, employed a strategy that neutralized the threat of Hannibal's elephants. He instructed his troops to open lanes in their formation, allowing the elephants to pass through harmlessly, thus avoiding the chaos the elephants might have caused. Meanwhile, Scipio's Roman cavalry, led by Massinissa, outflanked and defeated Hannibal's cavalry, eventually encircling the Carthaginian infantry. Hannibal's forces, overwhelmed by Scipio's tactical brilliance, were decisively defeated. The Battle of Zama marked the end of the Second Punic War. Carthage was forced to sue for peace, losing its military power and influence, while Rome emerged as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, ending Carthage's role as a major force in the ancient world. The Treaty of Zama, signed in 201 BC, officially ended the Second Punic War. The terms were harsh for Carthage. They were forced to cede Spain to Rome, surrender their war fleet, except for 10 ships, and pay a massive indemnity of 10,000 talents over 50 years. Carthage also had to agree never to wage war without Rome's permission, reducing its power to a regional state. For Rome, the victory established its dominance in the western Mediterranean, paving the way for further expansion into Africa, Spain, and eventually the eastern Mediterranean. As for Hannibal, he continued to serve Carthage in a political role, but was eventually exiled due to Roman pressure. He fled to the Seleucid Empire and later Bithynia, where he took his own life to avoid capture by Roman agents. The Second Punic War marked the beginning of Rome's transformation into a Mediterranean superpower, solidifying its dominance for centuries. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the epic battles and strategies of the Second Punic War, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all our future content. Let us know in the comments what part of Hannibal's campaign amazed you the most, or suggest the next topic you'd love to see covered.